Hey friends, thank you so much for checking out this video. My name is Rachel. I am a blogger and lover of all things cold brew, and this is the Cold Brew Chick YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over Craft Connections cold brew maker using the Starbucks Mocha flavored coffee beans. Now I asked you guys on my Instagram what you guys would think this would be as a cold brew, and surprisingly the majority of you said that it wouldn't be good, but today we're going to find out. So the Craft Connections cold brew maker has two main parts. You have the top filter and you have the big fat mason jar that's going to hold everything together. And pretty much how it works is you take the filter, put it on top of the mason jar. It fits perfectly and it has a nice rubber lining right here to keep it nice and sealed. And all you do is put your coffee grounds into the filter, pour your water, and then just put the top part of the mason jar, seal it, and pop it in the fridge. Now Craft Connections comes with a preset recommendation of coffee grounds to water. It's 3/4 cup of coffee grounds to 4 cups of water. And so all you have to do is take your coffee grounds and pour them into the filter. And what's nice about the metal filter is that it's really thick. If you look at it, you can't even see the coffee grounds through it. You can't even tell. It looks like it's just this nice silver filter. But you'll notice that when you pour the water into it, it goes through, which is really awesome. So you pour your coffee grounds in there, and then once it's all in there, you'll notice it comes about halfway full. You pour your 4 cups of water. Now once you add the water in there, all of the coffee grounds should be saturated, but you could add more if you want to. There's a lot of room in this filter and a lot of room for water. So if you wanted to make more cold brew or play around with the ratio, you definitely have the option to do that. Alright, so now that we have the 3/4 cup of coffee grounds in there, I'm going to go ahead and add the 4 cups of water so you can get an idea of just how full it gets the mason jar. Like I said, you want to kind of pour it over the grounds in concentric circles, or you can just dump it in. It's up to you. Alright, so you'll see that it only fills it up about halfway. So if you wanted to add more coffee grounds, add more water, you can go for it. And then all you have to do is go ahead and add that top part, make it nice and tight. And then they recommend steeping it for 12 to 18 hours. And you can do it at room temperature or in the fridge. I recommend doing this in the fridge to prevent any bacterial growth, and 24 hours is usually my go-to just because it's very easy to remember. So I put this in at 9 a.m. in the morning, pull it out at 9 a.m. the next day. So now our cold brew's all set, and let's see how it turned out. Alright, so for this cold brew, I used the Starbucks Mocha flavored coffee. Now this is pre-ground coffee. They do not have the whole bean option in stores, at least at the store I went to. So something to keep note of is that this coffee is a bit of a finer grind than what's normally recommended for cold brew. With cold brew, it's usually recommended to do a coarser grind because the coffee steeps slower. And since we're steeping our coffee for 24 hours, we don't want it to be too quick, because if we do a super fine grind, then it can over extract the coffee and it won't taste as good. Another reason to do a coarse grind as well is because it's easier to clean up. The finer your grind is, the harder it is to pull it out of the coffee when it's time to filter. So there's actually not too much sediment in here, which is really good. But it is recommended to do a coarse grind, and it's recommended for this maker as well. But if you're someone like me that doesn't have a grinder, doing pre-ground coffee is a great option because you don't have to worry about making sure that it's consistent. You just pour it in and you can use your maker. So that being said, let's give it a try and see how it is. You get a really rich chocolate flavor, or smell in this case, and yeah, it's really aromatic, which that's a good sign. It's interesting because I really like tasting chocolate notes in my cold brew. And I mention this all the time, I love my chocolatey rich cold brews. So to have chocolate added back to the cold brew is very interesting. It's still, you get that rich chocolate taste, but it's different because it wasn't naturally there in the coffee, they added it. This is a natural flavor. They didn't artificially add the flavor back, which is nice to know. But it's just not quite the same chocolate flavor than if you had a regular cold brew that naturally had chocolate notes in it. But it's still really tasty. The thing is also that it's a mocha flavoring, so they didn't just add a chocolate flavor to it. There's an artificial coffee kind of flavor to it as well, which you may or may not like. I dig it. I think it's pretty solid, pretty tasty. I give it a 4 out of 5. I'm curious to know too if I added more coffee grounds and less water, how it would turn out, because it is a bit watered down, and that's okay. But like I said, I like it bold and rich, and I think as a bold and rich cold brew, this would work really well with the flavoring. But 4 out of 5, it came out very clean, very crisp. It's a solid cold brew. Before we go, I just want to touch on one other quick thing that's really great about this kit, is that it comes with this book, Cold Brew Coffee Recipes, written by Dennis Waller, the inventor of this maker. And what's great about the book is that it touches on the history of coffee, it touches on the different regions, so Ethiopia, Kenya, Colombia, Mexico, and goes over how the coffee came to be into that country, how popular it is. And then at the end, he has recipes, not only just for cold brews, but for teas. What's nice about this maker is that you don't have to necessarily use it just for cold brew. You can use it for any type of immersion, so teas, flavored waters, and he has a bunch of recipes in here. One that really spoke out to me, and I think I'm going to do a blog post on this one, is a cinnamon iced coffee. I love cinnamon and coffee. I think it's a great combination, and I can't wait to try it out. But it's really nice to have this book as a refresher of what cold brew is, learn some of the history, learn more about the different regions that coffee comes from, and to try out some fun recipes. Thank you so much for checking out this tutorial and review. Don't forget, Cold Brew Chick is more than just a YouTube channel. There's also a podcast, blog, and daily Instagram where I constantly add reviews and anything that's going on in the cold brew world. I'll have all the links below so you can check it out, and I hope to see you for the next video.